Welcome to the Community Difference Frisco. Powered by the Difference Media LLC. Hosted by Brian Poduska. And sponsored by Real Property Management Focus. Certainty Home Lending. Patterson Insurance. Stewart Title. The Frisco Fighters Arena Football Team. Total Care. PBJ Mortgage. Smart Safe Retirement. Gaston Investments and Development. And by Team Watson Redeemers. The Community Difference Frisco
was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals.
So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference Frisco starts now.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the North Texas Community Difference Frisco Show. We are on episode 6, second one of 2024. Happy New Year to everyone. Great that you could join us today. If you're joining after Thursday on a replay, good to see you and hopefully see you again. But like I said, we are on episode 6, kicked off the Frisco Show end of last year. And really excited to bring it into 2024. If you haven't seen us before, what this show is and what all the Community Difference shows are, it's really a tool to highlight and spotlight local business owners, entrepreneurs, community leaders, ISD leaders, nonprofits, and sports leaders. So it's basically, in particular, we're talking about those leaders in Frisco here. We also have a show that just kicked off in Plano. That ran a couple days ago. We have one in Wiley that ran earlier today. We also have one in Rockwall. We have one in Denton. So we are looking to expand that, and you'll hear a little bit more about that later. But this is the Frisco Show. Super excited to have my co-host on for the second time of the year for Miss Jacqueline, but the first time for Chance. So, Lennon, if you don't mind, let's bring on our co-host and say hello.
Hello.
Chance and Jacqueline, what's up?
Hello, hello.
Great to be here.
Excited to have you guys again. You for the first time this year, so Happy New Year to you, Chance.
Thank you.
Jacqueline, I saw you last week, which was awesome. We had you filling in last week, and it was great. So great to see you again.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So how's your new year been so far?
Well, I had a great New Year so far because I started the first week up on vacation skiing. So my legs are back. I got my legs back underneath me again, and I'm trying to hit the ground running.
You didn't have to use your ER though, right? Right.
No, last year my wife tore ACL, so this year I was skiing blues, taking it easy, not nothing too crazy.
That's the best way to ski, the grades of the blues, just nice and easy peasy.
Getting old.
Always know your limitations. Well, I saw some Facebook user chimed in on the bottom there, so that may be Nathan, since it said Plano Community Difference Plano Show. So, but whoever Facebook user is, thanks for watching today. All right, guys. Well, hey, let's go ahead and bring in your guests. I'd love to meet them officially on screen here. I already know one of them very well, but let's bring in your guests. What's up, Kevin? How are you?
Hello. How is everyone this fine afternoon?
Doing fantastic.
Very well.
Fantastic.
Honored to be here.
Well, thanks for joining us today, Johanna. Good to see you.
Hey guys, how are you?
Yeah,
thank you.
Doing fantastic. All right, well, I'm gonna turn it over to the co-host and let them introduce their guests, and then I'll let the guests go a little bit deeper on who they are and what they do. Ladies first, Jacqueline, you're up, please.
This is Johanna McDaniel, and she founded just almost a year ago a great organization called Frisco Women. I'll let her kind of go a little bit more in depth, but she and I have known each other professionally for quite a few years, right? 5 or 6, something like that. So I'll kind of let her explain what Frisco Women is and how it's kind of changing the face of networking for women here in Frisco.
So Frisco Women is a social networking community group, I guess. So we started on Facebook in a Facebook group, and we just started the ball rolling by having small 5 to 10 people meetings. And it was like, have brunch and go get dinner together in a happy hour, and really, really low level. So the primary goal was just to get women out of the house and not be so isolated, not have to do their business on their own, not have to go to these large, intimidating, huge chamber of commerce events right off the bat, just ease into it. And then from there, we grew from 0 members to over 8,000 this year. So we have exploded. Yeah,
Wow.
It's been fun.
8,000?
8,000. Yeah, well, 8,100 now as it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think you probably surpassed the Frisco Chamber of Commerce by at least double, I would think.
They make more money though, so
It's hard to compete with that. Yes,
Yeah.
they have some heavy hitters in that one. But
yes. So
That's
we're like friendship based. Not so our motto is friendship first, business second, and so we allow everybody in. It's not just businesses allowed.
Well, that's awesome. No, thank you for sharing that, and we'll go deeper on. I'd love to know how you grew from 10 people to 8,100. So that's I want to hear that.
That sounds like awesome. It sounds like a great clinic today. I'm excited.
Right.
Excuse me.
So I feel like Kevin needs no introduction here. I mean, I've worked with him for about 5 years, starting back at the chamber when I was in another industry. But we both were big networkers, and I'll let him get into his whole thing. But we both have our own networking groups, and then Kevin now with the Legends, which is a great networking group also. And what better, our podcast is really about networking. I'm like, what a perfect guest to come on. And even with Johanna being in networking, a great. I'm really excited about today's show. So Kevin, I'll let you take it away.
I'm currently with the Texas Legends. So been there about a year now. I'm the Senior Director of Business Development, and fancy way to say that I'm a connector. And prior to being with the Legends, I worked with the Frisco Chamber of Commerce for 3+ years. Before that, with the Dallas Cowboys at the Cowboys Club over in hospitality there. So that was kind of the foundation, part of the foundation of me kind of getting into the whole business development and really sales arena. But like I said, known Chance for a while, and we had some great times back at Venture X and so forth. We helped develop quite a few businesses coming out of that organization. And like I said, just super excited. Been in the community 23 years, raised family here. So this is home, and it's all about community and bringing the communities together.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing, Kevin. Yeah, you really don't need an introduction, because I think anybody who's in business has seen you, at least been connected to you, if not been connected through you. So I think you might have been the first. You were an ambassador, I believe, when I first joined the chamber years and years ago. Whatever, handful of years ago, I think.
You may have been one of the first people that I recruited to the Frisco Chamber.
Okay, well, there we go.
I believe that to be the case, Brian.
That's awesome. Well, so we started our journey together in the connector role, I guess.
We really did.
Yeah, you definitely made me feel welcome at the Frisco Chamber. So, I thank you for that. And all these years later, here we are, right?
Here we go.
But so again, back on the how the show works and what we're trying to do. I talked about the spotlight being shined on. Individuals like yourselves, and you guys are both obviously very good connectors. So very pertinent and appropriate guest for our topic of the month in January, and that is highlighting local success stories and inspiring entrepreneurs in the community. So you guys work with entrepreneurs, you connect entrepreneurs. That is your main focus. So, you guys have seen a lot of entrepreneurs succeed. You've seen a lot probably come and go as well. So you may have a pretty good feel for what helps people succeed and what helps people avoid failing, I guess would be another way to say it. So interested to hear some of those stories a little bit later on. And you guys are awesome guests for the business topic of the month. But that's what we do. Every month we rotate a different business topic. With that being said, we do need to jump to a commercial real quick. On the backside of that commercial break, we're going to talk about What's Up Frisco.
What's Up Frisco?
There it is. All right. So we'll hear what's up in Frisco after the break. Stay tuned.
The Community Difference Frisco is made possible by Brian Poduska, owner of Real Property Management Focus. Paul Fisher, loan officer with Certainty Home Lending. Steve Wood with Smart Safe Retirement. Kendra Kennedy with Stewart Title. Stephen Pine, partner with Patterson Insurance. Matt England, director of corporate partnerships, and Andre Coles, head coach of the Frisco Fighters Arena football team. Debbie Watson with Team Watson Redeemers. Sonia Lowry with Gaston Investments and Development. Chance Post with Total Care. Jacqueline Crider with PBJ Mortgage. The Community Difference Frisco. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. And I make this joke occasionally, but we got some damn good-looking sponsors. I'm just saying. All right. Anyway, so as I talked about before the break, we've got a segment called What's Up Frisco.
What's up, Frisco?
There we go. We'll work on our cadence there. We're only in episode 6. We have room for improvement. But what the segment is basically highlighting not necessarily stuff that you can Google off, just anybody from California can go on the internet and Google blah, 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 what's up Frisco and see what's going on. These are things, events, fundraisers that are going on within our business community that hopefully you can find it on Google, but it's not going to be the first thing that pops up, right? So with that being said, I'm gonna skip my normal ladies first. I'm gonna go straight to you, Chance, because I know that you've got something that you and Kevin have been working on together.
Yeah. So Kevin and I have partnered up with our relationship, Total Care, with the Legends. The Total Care has a foundation, so we have a networking event Wednesday, January 17th, before the Texas Legends game. Going to be on the Party Plaza with food, hot dogs, nachos, hamburgers. We'll have probably close to between 100 and 200 people there to do some business networking before the game. And so the tickets are free, but you've got to register. So we've got a QR code that's out. It's a Facebook event. It's on LinkedIn. And we can email you. You can put your name in the chat. I will get you the invite. But it's a great business networking event. And then there will be some fundraising there. The funds that we do raise during the event will go to the Total Care Foundation, which helps our mission clinic in Kenya. So it's a great event. We're great partners with the Legends, and we do several events with them throughout the year.
It's going to be a great opportunity to see, some amazing basketball. The Texas Legends, if you aren't aware, we're the NBA G League franchise. So it used to be the D League until Gatorade bought the naming rights. But so it's a developmental league. And so we feed players into the Dallas Mavericks. So you get to see a high quality basketball in a family environment, get some networking in a high energy environment. High energy, but at the same time, it's a social environment, so it's a little bit more relaxed than some of the formal networking sessions. So please come out, and everyone's invited. Free food, free drinks, free fun.
Yeah. I would say too, these guys they're going up to the Mavericks. They're coming up, they're coming down. So they play hard because they're looking to make it in the NBA. So they're not out there horsing around. It's a serious basketball game. Those guys are fighting hard.
Yeah, we've been blessed this season. We've had a number of sold out performances. Just to give you some background, the Legends are in a league of 30 other franchises in the G League, and the Legends are the number one in attendance, number one in revenue, number one in giving back to our community and to our partners. So it is a unique experience even for the G League, and just I think a great representation of what we have here in Frisco and Collin and Denton counties.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that, Kevin. I don't know, not that I've lived in a ton of different places, but I don't know any other location that's tied exactly what's going on with the basketball activities into the local business community, and you guys have done a great job of that. And I will have to add this. I am today years old when I learned why the G League moved from being the D League to the G League.
Yeah,
I
me
didn't
too.
know it was because of Gatorade, and I freaking worked there 10 years ago.
Right?
So you
Hey,
learn
Brian,
something new every day.
Brian, I'd like to throw in that is the epitome of being the community difference. When you take a sports league, you combine it with the local businesses and the community residents, and you integrate all of those. That's really what it's all about. Good job,
Yeah.
Texas Legends.
I was gonna say we're super lucky to like have the Legends and all those groups here in Frisco. I mean, because there's so many different areas that don't have all of that kind of good stuff. You know what I mean? Like, how blessed are we? We not only have like the professional teams, which are down more towards Dallas proper, but we've got like these amazing, smaller leagues too. And I agree. I think they're a little more fun to watch than sometimes like the Mavs and stuff like that, just because it's a little more intimate setting, I guess. I don't know.
That's right.
It doesn't feel as super crazy. And of course, it's not as far away. So not as much traffic,
Close.
let's be real.
Hey, that is our calling card, is really being community based. I give all credit. I've only been there a year, but I mean, I was poached by Malcolm Farmer, our president, and it starts from the top. I mean, this is a guy that you will see jumping in water tanks during the game. When we're setting up for a happy hour or any kind of event, he's out there in his shorts and sweats, putting up tables and the whole 9 yards. So it starts from the top, and he's just committed to the community. And that's really been the secret of the whole thing is, in the time I've been there, any nonprofit, anybody that's trying to support kids, the military, veterans, the animals, if they're asking, he's giving. And so, he's kind of cheap, so he don't like to give a lot of money. But if there's anything we can do as far as basketballs and gift baskets, and every now and then he'll give up a few dollars. But
Hey, but it's at least he's living that. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's like making a difference in the community, whichever way he can, even if it's not with the dollars.
Exactly.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, you guys have such great partnerships formed, and we're excited to have you on the show today to go. And who knows, like I said, one of our platforms is local sports, since Frisco is Sports City USA. So, maybe we take this a little bit deeper, but
we're gonna do that.
Yeah, that sounds great to me, and we'll take that discussion offline and prosper with it. But so what I want to do now is allow you guys and really help focus that spotlight on you guys and go a little bit deeper on what inspired you and what was your inspiration and what was your journey to get where you're at today. So here's where we're going to go, ladies first. Johanna, let's start with you. Tell the audience, a little bit about your journey, how you got to where you are, and what really inspired you to, specific to Frisco Women. What inspired you guys to start that? And then, like I mentioned before, I want to hear how you guys grew from a handful of people to 8,100.
So the growth is all God, honestly. There's nothing that I can control to make that, but just creating the group and being available to talk to women and putting ourselves out there constantly in a vulnerable position in some ways, just saying, hey, I know it's awkward meeting strangers, but I'm super introverted, so I need you to come sit with me so that I'm not by myself. And the ladies would show up, and then it just kind of grew. And I think it's because we started off on an awkward foot all the time and kind of in a self-deprecating manner. They received that well and resonated, I guess, with it, and invited their friends and invited their friends and invited their friends. And it's just growing and growing and growing. And it's like we get 50 requests some days and then 100 requests the next day and then 2 requests for 2 weeks straight. And then, it just, the algorithm is one of those things that we can't predict. We can play it every day, but it's going to change constantly. So a lot of it is just good fortune, I think. But my story is I've been running Facebook groups for over 10 years now. And I got a lot of experience, especially through the last election and COVID and the BLM riots and everything else. Everybody was so angry online. And so we got a lot of really good experience. I got a lot of really good experience trying to be a positive thought leader online and in these community groups that I was running. And I didn't own any of these groups. I was just helping run them, and thousands of people in these groups, and it's just crazy. And just trying to create a positive environment. And so one of the things that I wanted whenever I started Frisco Women was that it was going to be a positive only environment. We do have some things that are not on the up and up as far as like positivity is concerned, but it's something that's actually needing a resource, or they're needing help, or it's and it's a chance for the community members to provide a positive response. And so we take those play by play on those. But that was my experience there. I wanted to have a greater in-person network. My networking is all online. I do tons and tons of social media networking online, and I have, like I said, for 10 years. But and then for my personal business, that was really great during COVID. But now everything's off of the COVID timeline. We are out in the real world again. And so I needed to transfer over into in-person networking, and I didn't know how to do it. And the idea of having to go join a chamber or go join these really big networking groups that have been established for decades was a little too grown up for me personally. I'm a stay-at-home mom. We homeschool, and I'm not used to that environment. So I was like, you know what is not uncomfortable for me is going to a restaurant with friends. And so that's kind of how we based the whole thing around it. And I'm not alone, apparently. 8,100 other women agree. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, who can't relate to the, if you're a new business owner and walking into the Frisco Chamber Thursday morning breakfast, there's 120 people there. It can be intimidating, no question. So to have an outlet where you can start and you can have people mentor you and help you and make those, what I'll call it, one-to-one or one-to-two type introductions, as opposed to trying to, work your way through a room of 100 people and you don't know any of them and you don't know where to start. So we've all been there at one stage in our career or not. And
well, for sure. And it's also beyond just the business networking portion of it. It's a lot of women, they have moved from California and all over the world to Frisco area. We've seen this giant population influx. It's now very visible on the roads during traffic times.
Yeah.
And these women don't have friends. They don't have family in the area. And it's a really fast way for women to get connected into the local community and kind of find their friend group, their tribe, so to speak, in their village. And that way they're not feeling alone raising their kids or marriage problems or just having some self-care time where they can get out of the house and be with other women. It's just very isolating when you move. And I've done that. I moved to Seattle and back, and both of those moves were very difficult for us. And me especially just felt like I didn't have friends. And so I know how to foster that relationship in them and help them get on their feet in that way. So we've found quite a few women that are willing to be thought leaders and ambassadors of the group. And they are kind of like the first handshake you get whenever you join. It's like, hey, welcome to the group. We're so happy to have you here. And then they realize, oh, wait, I can start a business. Or maybe I do want to have a cottage bakery in my house. And this is how I can network. And this is how I get my product out there. And it's not just like I'm having to Google everything to figure it out on my own and hope that I'm not finding bad information online. No, we've had these women with like success stories and they're saying they did this. And so I'm just going to copy them. And then it's working for everybody.
Well, and I'll speak to that. Johanna and I think we actually met through a different moms group. I think that's originally how we got connected. And I agree with her that there's a lot of moms groups out there that are very kind of negative. There's like a lot of that kind of cattiness that you see with a lot of women. And it's hard to find like the beacon of positivity with that because you're behind your phone and behind a screen, right? So you can say whatever and you don't have a lot of repercussions for it. So Joanna's done a really good job of not just including people and like giving opportunities to get out there, but also making sure that the place stays in a really positive headspace. Because trust me, it could spiral real quick in the Facebook groups, real quick.
It just can turn into a really nasty riot in a flash. And so we've got to avoid that. I mean, for my personal mental health, that's the main reason. That's the selfish reason why it's positivity only. Not on the like toxic positivity level, but just we're just going to let those types of posts go to other groups because we don't want to have to handle them on our own. So I'm not a licensed counselor. I'm not a pastor. I'm not your mom, like you don't need to come here for this. So
What an original idea! We're going to be positive in this world we live today. That ends up being like the game changer.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah. It's easy.
So simple, right? Isn't that what your mom taught you? Have a positive attitude,
right,
champ.
Exactly.
Like, you got told that like 100 times. Exactly. But man, we're going back to it because we're like, hey, I think we all forgot the positivity piece somewhere along the path.
It's a little hard over the last few years, for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For
No
sure.
question. No question. Well, and what I want to do is dive a little bit deeper into the aspect of doing it online too, versus or almost entirely online. You said that your past 10 years, you built your networking all online, which is a lot of what we're about here on The Difference, right? We're doing exactly that. We're networking through a podcast format right now, which is unique and not so unique anymore, but certainly 10 years ago, doing all your networking online and through social media was, kind of unheard of. So we can dive into that a little bit later in the show. What I do want to do, we've got about 4 minutes until break. Kevin, I'd like to go into your journey and how you got to where you're at today. You talked about your history a little bit, but tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got to where you're at.
Well, I'm from Chicago originally, and I always like to start. Yeah, no bears, no bulls, but anyway, we start the journey in Chicago. A young boy in high school, and he's, the party scene. Love the party animal. I'm promoting parties. I'm, renting out hotels and racket clubs and bringing the crowd into an environment where it was a type of music called house music, which was dance music at that time, that was just kind of overtaking the community, and folks had a great time. So that's how I started, really. That's when I look back now and say, well, that's when I really started doing what I had a passion for and what I loved. Of course, my mother wasn't quite as enthused with that. It's like, doctor, lawyer, engineer, what do you need to be? Where are you going? Not are you going to college, or where are you going to college? And that shifted from going to New Orleans and thinking I was going to be in pharmacy school. And that lasted about 3 years, but I wasn't quite focused enough coming out of Chicago in New Orleans. It was too many distractions. I was never going to graduate from there. I go home after they told me I need to think about it for a semester, and my mom says, I'm not sure what you're going to do, but you can't stay here. And that led to my sister thinking I'm going to be a bum. And she's like, well, look, I know somebody who's sending kids to college in Texas. I end up meeting with a guy. He had a whole wall full of yearbooks, HBCUs, historically Black colleges. And he's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I'm not really sure what I want to do. I was in pharmacy school. He's like, well, you're not stupid. He's like, you look like an engineer. You're going to Prairie View. And that's how I got to Prairie View A&M, end up getting an electrical engineering degree, working for Procter & Gamble. I was never an engineer. I was always a people person. So I didn't go, I did no engineering.
You had the smarts to be an engineer, but you don't have the personality to be something else.
Exactly. Right. So now here I am. I'm doing project engineering, project management. Of course, I'm focused on the teams and the people I'm working with. I don't care about the engineering. I'm building relationships, right? So I'm there for 3 years. Then some young guys wanted to start a diaper company in Houston. I end up in Houston. I'm making diapers. I'm doing projects, quality work, safety work. I'm putting systems in place. They end up getting put out of business by Kimberly-Clark and Procter & Gamble. I end up in Memphis, Tennessee. Once again, a buddy of mine who I actually went to college, went to grammar school with, he's like, Kevin, come on up to Memphis. We about to start a packaging company. I go do that. I'm doing packaging engineer, quality engineer, safety, putting programs, working with AIB, everything. So I'm doing that. And they need somebody to come to Dallas. That's where our primary account is. We're working with Frito-Lay and Pepsi, and we're doing all the small bag packaging. I'm like, well, shoot, I'll go to Dallas. I'll do that. I'm flying back and forth for a year. I'm working with procurement. And the guy who owned the company decided he wants to sell it. So he's like, Kevin, This is in 1999. He's like, Kevin, I got a opportunity for you. We're going to sell this company. You can come back to Memphis, or I can give you a little package and you can figure out how to make it work in Dallas and in Plano. I'm like, look, I talked to my wife. I told her we're going to find the biggest house we can in Frisco, Texas, and we're going to figure out how to make it. I'm not moving back to Memphis with my kids. I didn't want to raise them there. And she's like, all right. That was the start. So I'm going from corporate America, project engineering, to being a straight hustler. I'm working real estate and mortgages. I'm selling merchant service and credit card machines. I'm doing physician recruiting. My wife is going berserk. The kids are like out of control. And I'm like, well, what? And I'm like, Lord, why am I going through this? I'm going from job to job. I'm doing all this. Finally, I'm doing merchant services again, and I was doing quite well, and I'd made a lot of money doing real estate before the bubble busted. And my daughter's working for Jerry Jones over at the Star. She's right, just doing tours.
Hey, Kevin, let me interrupt there on the Jerry Jones comment. We do need to take a break real quick.
Take a break. I'm sorry, and I've talked too much, so just shut me up anytime.
No, dude, you are good. I want to leave on the hook at Jerry Jones because I'm interested to see where this is going. So let's take a quick break and we'll come back on the back end and hear the rest.
All right.
The Community Difference is a new series of shows powered by the Difference Radio live stream and podcast network. This series of shows was designed to highlight the unsung heroes that call our towns and communities home. And we wanted to create a platform that brings awareness to and reminds folks of the goodness that lives within so many of us. By working with the local community leaders, business owners, first responders, veterans, schools, and citizens, we want to unite with a clear and selfless purpose. The Community Difference seeks to spotlight the people, events, and activities that are producing positive outcomes, inspirational stories, and incredible experiences. In a world that is consumed with negative press, media manipulation, and propaganda, The Difference, along with many others who believe and support The Difference, understands there is no better way to make the difference than to highlight the unsung heroes that call our towns and communities home. We are currently searching for local communities to be the focus of our shows, but before we can launch a show in your community, we need your help. We need you along with local business leaders, chambers of commerces, major nonprofits, online community group leaders, networking groups, etc., to join us in making the difference in helping your community be seen, be heard, and be remembered. So, if you would like to know how you, your business, school, social media community, church, or your favorite nonprofit organization can be a part of this unique and powerful program, reach out to us today and introduce yourself and let us know how you would like to contribute and bring awareness to the amazing people, places, and events that are making the difference in the community you love. You can call us at 972-866-4596 or email us at info@thedifferenceradio.com.
And now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. Wanted to. Oh, there we go. We got Debbie Watson giving a shout out to Debbie. It's actually great because what I want to do real quick was give a shout out to all the folks that are listening out there on Facebook. I've seen a bunch of posts pop up, and we just haven't had a time to mention your name. But I'm glad we at least got your name on the screen, and we appreciate you guys watching. 4 million viewers. No, 4,000. I think is what the number is, Jacqueline. We're like live right now. But hey, we're striving for 4 million.
It's 4 million over. It's 4 million over 4 years so far.
Right,
Okay.
Right. Yeah. I mean, heck, we're growing, but we're not quite at the 4 million.
Now, I will say this, and Brian, you can back me up on this. If you search one of the shows on Frisco right now is showing 1.6 million viewers. We have not confirmed that yet. I don't know what the glitch would be, but we're trying to figure it out. So we got to figure it out.
We have a legit screenshot that shows 1.6 million views, and that was in a week's time frame. So
we're just gonna speak it to existence, guys. 4 million views.
There you go.
Honest said it. That's just the reality now. It's gonna be 4 million viewers.
Was that the Universal episode or something?
We can
claiming it.
Work.
Claim it.
That's right. Well, hey guys, back on the topic, Kevin, I know we had to cut you off there, but we did have to get that commercial break in. And before we get back on the Jerry Jones part where we left off, what I didn't realize is we're basically brothers. You wouldn't look at us and know that, but we both grew up in Chicago.
Yeah.
We both worked in corporate America, supply chain. You worked with PepsiCo. I was employed by PepsiCo. I was in the supply chain, so I think our timing wasn't quite right. But procurement side, I was on procurement as well. So there's a lot of similarities there. We just, we may not look the same, but we have a similar background.
As we should, because on the inside it's all the same, right? Under the surface.
That's right. So
I like that he was hustling mortgages back when it was the wild, wild west. Because man, I mean, anything goes. If you had a heartbeat and a social security number, man, you were golden. You were golden.
I was convinced. I told my wife, I'm like, look, I can do a whole lot of things. I know I can make some money in Dallas. I was like, all we got to do is just get here. We're here. We'll be okay.
Jacqueline,
and it was.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Lyndon.
No, I was going to tell Jacqueline that it's funny you said that because I was in mortgage back then too, and it really didn't have to be a strong heartbeat.
That's true. That's true. Just kind of write something down on a piece of paper.
You had a pulse, you could get one.
Hey, but see, I was scared. I was like, look, I'm not going to jail. I was like, I got too many kids and my wife will kill me. I won't even make it to jail. I was like, look, let's go ahead. I'd take my foot up to the line, but I wouldn't cross it over. It was so many people that were doing, oh my goodness. It was so much. Yeah.
It was shady. It was shady.
I was gonna say your color's not orange, Kevin. Is that what you're telling us?
Exactly. I wasn't built for that part of life. I wasn't built for going to jail. So I just hustled. But I mean, I end up over at the Star because my daughter's working there, and I'm thinking to myself, now I'm a seasoned salesperson. I'm working with TXU and Alliance, and dogs getting stuck on me, people slamming doors in my face, getting hung up on the telephone, in call centers. So I'm seasoned now. And so she's over here. I'm like, if I can get into the Star, I can sell some suites at this stadium that Jerry Jones has put up. I know I can. So I signed up to actually with Legends Hospitality. And I started off doing some work over at the Toyota Stadium, what's now Toyota Stadium. And I'm working with nonprofits and helping them in the concessions. Next thing I know, I'm over at the Cowboys at the new Star, and they need somebody to do tours. So I'm touring people around the Ford Center and all the headquarters. And I'm meeting folks left and right. I'm meeting Jerry. He's coming to me while I got groups of people and him and his bodyguard running up and, hey, Kevin. And next thing I know, they needed somebody to go into the Cowboys Club, the private club. Well, now I've never been in hospitality. I don't know anything about being a maitre d'. I go into hospitality. I'm just simply the lowly receptionist at the front of the restaurant when you get off the elevator. I met everybody. I networked with everybody. I knew all the politicians, all Jerry Jones's coaches and executives, all the business partners for Jerry's cronies. I'm meeting all these folks, and I'm learning about their parents, their backgrounds, their kids, their parents. So I done become a lightweight celebrity. I'm just a receptionist. People are coming in. Oh, let me introduce you to Kevin. He runs the place. I'm like, I don't run anything. The manager, the GM, is having a fit. She's like, hired all these people out of school, but people are coming to me, right? So I'm like, this isn't going to last long. I know she's going to fire me. She's going to get rid of me. So I started looking. And next thing I know, I see the Chamber of Commerce, Frisco Chamber of Commerce. I put in a little resume on LinkedIn or whatever it was. And Kevin, I'm so sorry. We've got about 200 resumes, and we aren't accepting any more at the time. We appreciate your interest in the role. I go back to the Cowboys Club. I told you I met all these people. Some of them were sitting on the board. Some of them were executives that were hired. Kevin, you put it right back in there. I'm about to make a couple of calls. Kevin, go back over there. I'm gonna send in an email and a letter. I want you to go back. Numerous people. Next thing I know, I'm getting a call on the phone. Do you think you can do a phone interview? Do you think you can do a second phone interview? Can you come in? I go meet the president of the chamber. He's like, I don't know who you are. I don't know how you know all these people. He said, but I'm getting phone calls and letters. They told me if I didn't hire you, I would be stupid. I'm like, what a great way to start a relationship, right? So he's already telling me somebody to force him into doing this. So, but that's how I got to the Frisco Chamber of Commerce.
Nice.
And so I'm there for 3 years. That's where I met Chance. That's where I met Brian. And look, the key to this whole thing is just building relationships and making people feel warm and make them feel comfortable and just doing what you say you're going to do and bringing folks together. And so that was a gift that like I said, it took me 40 years to figure out that what I was doing when I was in high school was a thing that I was built for and that was my mission. And so from the time I figured that out when I got to the Frisco Chamber of Commerce, I have not changed. And so from the Frisco Chamber 3 years ago to the Texas Legends today, to the forming of my own group called the Frisco Diversity Leadership Council, the mission is the same, the passion is the same, and I've been blessed to be able to do, what I think I was born to do. And so that's kind of my story and how I got to the Texas Legends. I know that was long and drawn out, but hopefully
That's good.
That's a great story.
That's awesome. That's the kind of story that it resonates, right? And I apologize. I'm not feeling great right now, but it's cold season, and here I am with the cold. But that's the kind of story that resonates, Kevin, and that's what we love to hear, right? I mean, frankly, raise your hand on the show here if you're doing now what you went to college for, what you thought you were going to do in high school. I don't see any hands going up.
No.
I could have predicted that, right? Yeah. I guarantee you 99% of the audience out there has the same exact, winding path. And what you love to hear is that you're doing what you love doing, right?
Yeah.
And that's the part that I love hearing. And then the fact that you're connecting all the people that, are hopefully doing what they want to do as well, if they're a business owner, entrepreneur. And that's a special thing in our world, right? In our smaller business world, that's a special quality. And I'm glad that people get to hear it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing that story. Long-winded it doesn't matter. It's the story that counts. And you weren't long-winded because that's all that stuff that we need to hear to understand who you are and what you've done. So appreciate you sharing that.
And I like that he basically said that, like when he was in high school and stuff like that, he sort of knew more then than now. And sometimes as adults, like we sort of discount what people say, when they're younger. And I think they have a better line of sight into probably what they're good at and what they want to do. And we'll say, no, you should do this other more practical, whatever it is. But if they're going to do the other one better, maybe like to Kevin's point, maybe they should just go right there.
Yeah.
Not go down all the crazy other paths.
But you know what? Every single twist and turn and hurdle and, door that was slammed and all the things, it's always in retrospect that you realize that you had to go through all of it.
Yeah.
That you had to, because it put a strength in you. Well, for me, it built strength, it built endurance, it built not being able to be upset about somebody saying no, it not being, failure is just means the next opportunity is right around the door. So it builds a resilience in you. And really each step I learned how to deal with people more and more and, learn more and more about myself in each one of those situations and roles and career path. So that's what you got to get comfortable with self first. Yeah. Then you can serve others. If you have too much baggage and too many hang-ups, it makes it harder for you to be a servant. Yeah. And so that's what I consider myself. Oh, what's your title? And what do you know? Like, look, man, I just try to serve. But and if I can help others, then it's not the big stuff. It's not we had an HBCU night this past weekend, and it was 5,000 to 7,000 folks, and folks were excited, and energy was in the house, and I knew I'd had a big impact on making that happen. But then somebody called me, Kevin, I'm looking for a CPA. You know anybody you can connect me with? Boom, it's the little stuff. Let me send you this number. You call this guy. Tell him I said call. It's the little ones. It's the little stuff that I think makes the biggest impact on our community, and folks know and they appreciate those small things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no question. There's absolutely no question. And as hey Bree, thanks for chiming in there. Good to see, there's one of your Frisco women chiming in, Johanna. And I appreciate all the folks that are watching through Facebook. I want to also remind folks that we are live on X, formerly known as Twitter. I don't know why we still have to say all that, but you could find us there. You could find us on LinkedIn, YouTube, 2940 Live Radio, The Difference. And then we're going to stream after this is over to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, 38 other different streaming platforms. So just want to remind everybody, thanks for watching live. Always appreciate that. But you can always find us in all those other locations as well.
You think that new name for Twitter's ever going to stick? I got a feeling he's going to have to change it back.
Dude, I don't know what are the rules around formerly known as, right?
How long are we going to keep saying formerly known as? It's going to be forever.
I don't know. But you remember, he likes naming his kids. Aren't his kids' names like letters as well or something like that?
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah. He really has this obsession with just a single letter.
That's funny.
Which I guess when you have a lot of money, you can do what you want, right? I mean, it's your prerogative.
I think he got it from Prince back in the day. Remember when Prince changed his name to the symbol and formerly known as Prince? I'm like, okay, so that's where he got it.
Yeah, well, both of them are geniuses, so in their own right. So I guess it's hard to knock them.
True.
All right, so what we'll do next, like I said, we kind of we take a different viewpoint. We get everybody's different viewpoints throughout the month, which is great with the format of the show because we have rotating hosts and then we have multiple guests that come on. So one of my favorite parts about being the host is I get to hear everybody's opinion throughout the month and compare and contrast. So that's kind of fun for me. We're going to take a real quick break, but what I want to do, and you guys can think about this during the break, I want to dive into those local success stories. So again, the topic of the month for January is highlighting local success stories and inspiring entrepreneurs in the community. With you guys having worked with so many, if you can put some thought around, some good examples of that in the community who you've worked with, would love to share their stories on the back end. But real quick, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
The Community Difference Frisco is made possible by Brian Poduska, owner of Real Property Management Focus. Paul Fisher, loan officer with Certainty Home Lending. Steve Wood with Smart Safe Retirement. Kendra Kennedy with Stewart Title. Stephen Pine, partner with Patterson Insurance. Matt England, director of corporate partnerships, and Andre Coles, head coach of the Frisco Fighters Arena football team. Debbie Watson with Team Watson Redeemers. Sonia Lowry with Gaston Investments and Development. Chance Post with Total Care. Jacqueline Crider with PBJ Mortgage. The Community Difference Frisco. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back, and thanks again to all our sponsors. Good to see them all mentioned and pictured. All right, with that being said, so again, we're looking at local success stories, local entrepreneurs who've succeeded and made a name for themselves in the in the community. So hopefully you've had a little bit of time to think during the break. Do you guys want to whether you've been directly involved with them, having been in touch with so many different business owners, entrepreneurs, or if you know of an inspiring story, is there anything that you'd like to share with the audience? Kevin, go for it.
Yeah, Chance might remember this one. This was back. I'm gonna go back. This is pre Texas Legends. Forgive me. And it was Chamber of Commerce, but we were working with a young lady. She had just started a group. It was out of her house. Treasured Vessel Foundation. Oh, yeah, you remember that, Chance?
Yeah, that's a great one.
Oh my God. So they approached me, and I'm relatively new with the Frisco Chamber. And she's like, well, Kevin, I want to come on board and blah, blah, blah. She really didn't have all the money she needed to do it. But expressed to her, the need to go ahead and build relationships in the community and the opportunity to go ahead and reach out. And one of the vehicles that we used was to do a ribbon ceremony.
Yeah.
Well, that when we did that for this nonprofit, it just happened to flow in a election cycle.
Yeah.
So when we start communicating that we're having this ribbon ceremony, next thing I know, I'm getting calls from mayoral candidates, Senate candidates, it turned into the perfect storm. You're a brand new business. They didn't even have a storefront, so we did it over at Venture X.
Oh, I got it. And I got to tell you, Kevin set that up, and can you use the space? No problem. It came in. I told the manager and one of the owners, we're just going to have a little event over here for, it's all free. It's nonprofit. They help, women that have been in abusive situations with the trafficking. And next thing I know, Kevin rolls in. They've got the screen. You got the channel news, Ken Paxton, mayor, and they're looking at me, and I'm kind of looking around. The news cameras are rolling. I start shooting video. Go ahead. It's crazy. It was unbelievable.
Oh, no. The success is, they took the ball and ran with it, and the organization grew and grew. I'm telling you, in her spare room in her house to now where they have a safe house. They have a contingency of folks. I think they got property now. They were getting vans. Brian, didn't you help with a grand piano?
Yeah, dude, I was going to mention that. They have a special little piano in there that has a great story behind it. And the even better part about it was everybody who banded together to get that piano out of my garage and out to them. You were a huge part of that. We're going to probably get into that. I think it's on next week's show. I know Debbie Watson has a guest coming on who is instrumental in doing that as well. But we've had Treasured Vessel on the representatives from that organization on the show before. That's a fantastic organization and a fantastic example of exactly
from an idea to and the impact that they've had on the community has just been outstanding. So that's one of my favorite stories.
Yeah, love it. That's a great one. Mm-hmm. Johanna, I think you had a couple that you wanted to mention too.
Yeah, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. We are full of women entrepreneurs in the greater Frisco area, and it's just hard to pinpoint exactly who to highlight. You may have heard of Batch Bakery. They have a shop over on the Tollway now, and she started off really small, and her brand is amazing, and her pies are amazing, and she's constantly giving back to the community. She's if you ever go to an event in Frisco and there's like these little pie bites, then it's going to be from Leah, like hands down. They're freaking delicious, and she does Leah. Yeah, she's Leah Clark. She's amazing. So we have her, and then we have Mia Pfaff, and Mia is absolutely amazing. She's getting published in all of these magazines and websites for her food photography, and she's supporting restaurants in their branding and their marketing for their, they photograph food with their cell phones when they're first starting out, and it just looks really greasy and yellow and gross. And then Mia comes in, and it's like a world-class restaurant suddenly, and she's amazing. I know Jacqueline knows Mia as well.
Yeah, I know her really, really well. And I will tell y'all, it's crazy. Like she does like branding photos. Like, Brian, wasn't it you one time who was saying that some of our photos needed to be updated or something? And I was laughing, and I was thinking to myself, we need to have Mia come in and do like the community difference photo branding updates or whatever. Because the photo of me and my two dogs that airs, that's from Mia. She took that photo of me and Peanut Butter and Jelly, who are the mascots. And she really does an amazing job of like not only just photography, but then she also does a great job with branding and all of that stuff too.
Websites.
She's very involved in
she's
networking and helping women.
Yeah. We love Mia. But that's just two names out of 8,100 women that are local. And we have so many nonprofits that we're working with too. And Frisco Family Services and Refresh North Texas. And I'm blanking out Love Packs, Fast Packs. And we have another one now called Be an Angel. And Be an Angel is actually coming up from Houston area. and they are trying to establish in the Frisco market as well. But what they do is they provide it's called like they provide equipment and resources for families with handicapped special needs children, and it's such a wonderful nonprofit. And they are doing they kind of do a angel tree type of thing at Christmas time, and they ask for volunteers. But going through Frisco Women, they were able to say, hey, we need people to go shopping for us. We've got the money, but we need shoppers to go buy these presents for these families. And they had like an overwhelming amount of response for that. So it's kind of an internal plug there, but I think just getting plugged into the local community and like getting to meet all these different people. Everybody knows somebody. Everybody knows somebody who knows somebody, or who has a need, or who has another resource that we have never heard of before. So there's some truly astounding stories, but there's also the little tiny stories, like what Kevin was saying earlier. It's just the little things, the little connections that really stand out on our day-to-day basis. So yeah, I think it's good. And we've only been around for a year, and so just getting to know all these ladies in just a short year, it's hard to remember all of them. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Have you guys anybody ever read the book Who Not How?
Yes, that's a great one.
I feel like that this is like what Kevin was talking about, what Johanna was talking about. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the thing. It's not how are you going to do it, but who are you going to get to help you through that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and everybody wants to help if you're asking in the right way. Everybody wants to help.
Yeah, that's Benjamin Hardy wrote that book, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's a good. I highly recommend that one.
Well, it's a great example of what happens when you get a bunch of like-minded folks together in a group and they're all pulling in the same direction. So like Johanna said, your website is positive focused. Yeah. It's Frisco Women. It's business owners. It's entrepreneurs. And it's all folks that are pulling in the same direction. Yeah. It's amazing that, you take a charity that is looking for help through an online organization that you guys created a year ago, and you now have 8,100 people, and you're able to recruit, I'm assuming really quickly, people to help them with their effort around the holiday distribution and shopping.
Constantly. And I mean, Frisco Family Services, they have an orientation coming up this month for volunteers, by the way. And often a couple of their workers a couple of their staff are in our group, and they'll just put up a note saying, hey, we need 5 people this week. We need these shifts filled. And it's like calling donors and calling things and packaging gifts and whatever it is. And so a lot of the holiday season, there's a greater need, but it was just fun seeing those posts go up, and then all these women, they would have too many responses was the problem. So it was awesome. I wasn't expecting that, like this was our first holiday season in the group, and seeing that happen was just mind blowing to me.
I'll tell you, Johanna, I'm in awe. I'm still kind of in awe. I'm kind of feeling jealous. I mean, 8,100 people. That's amazing.
Should. Yes.
I'm jealous, Kevin. Are you jealous?
I'm very jealous. But you know what? One of the things that I recognized a long time ago too, I think I was in college or somewhere, and they told me what a quorum was, and that is the number needed to do business, right? And so it's not the quantity. It's the quality of the people that you put around you, and that are able to work together to go ahead and work toward a goal or a purpose, right? So if you can find, it doesn't matter. I'm like, man, I don't care how many people show up. If I have this event and only 5 people show up, guess what? Those 5 people are the ones that were meant to come together and support each other and work together.
Yeah.
And so I don't ever get caught up. Now, my Frisco Diversity Group, it kind of started the same way. It was a group designed primarily for minority-owned businesses, nonprofits, women-run organizations. And so it was to bring those groups together so they would know what each other do and to support each other. Just that simple. That was the mission. It wasn't I didn't want to get it too fancy and too complicated. And I was still working for the Frisco Chamber of Commerce at the time. So I'm like, well, I really can't market it. I don't want to have a conflict of interest. And so it was word of mouth, and it was people talking, and it started building traction. And month after month, it would get bigger and bigger to the point where the chamber knew. And that's kind of when I started heading toward the Texas Legends. But anyway, it was like And so in a 2.5 year period, we're up to like 900 people. I thought that was pretty
good.
awesome for 2 years. So I'm hearing
It is good.
8,000. I'm like, hey.
Now take it with a grain of salt. 8,000. It's so easy to just click join on Facebook, right? And so that's where our numbers are. We're not charging dues for anything like that to be in that bigger number. But we are moving over to a paid, like a membership platform, just to make the quality a little higher and a little more. It's like $5 a month, but it's just weed out the excess,
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at now too. I'm at the point where I think I'm going to monetize it just so we can do some other things.
Yeah, you have.
But it's been free. People have been pressing me to do it, but then, like you say, once you start adding monies into the equation, then I just try to keep the egos out of it and make sure that people are really focused on, again, the mission and the objective. And if it's to help others, let's help others. Let's not, let's do this event and we're going to raise money and you keep 20 and I keep 20. I'm like, no, that's not what we're really trying to do. So trying to keep it genuine, trying to keep it real. And I think that's that's obviously one of the keys to your success and what you've done. So congratulations.
Thank you. Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Keep it cheap, but have something so that you can continue that forward momentum for sure. Yeah.
Well, a little bit of money helps and takes it to the next level. So there's nothing wrong with monetizing. And
Absolutely.
It's necessary. Yeah.
There's nothing.
You got to do it.
There's nothing.
It's not really monetizing. It's subsidizing.
Right.
Yes.
That's a good point. I'm going to use that term from now on. Yeah.
I like that better.
And when you talk about subsidizing, I think it's time for a break.
Uh-oh.
That might be one of the best segues yet. We do have to take a commercial break because we do need to monetize or at least subsidize exactly what we're doing here.
Right, from now on, it's time to subsidize everybody. We'll be right back.
Subsidization time. Let's go.
All right, here we go.
The Community Difference is a new series of shows powered by the Difference Radio live stream and podcast network. This series of shows was designed to highlight the unsung heroes that call our towns and communities home. And we wanted to create a platform that brings awareness to and reminds folks of the goodness that lives within so many of us. By working with the local community leaders, business owners, first responders, veterans, schools, and citizens who want to unite with a clear and selfless purpose, the Community Difference seeks to spotlight the people, events, and activities that are producing positive outcomes, inspirational stories, and incredible experiences. In a world that is consumed with negative press, media manipulation, and propaganda, The Difference, along with many others who believe and support The Difference, understands there is no better way to make the difference than to highlight the unsung heroes that call our towns and communities home. We are currently searching for local communities to be the focus of our shows, but before we can launch a show in your community, we need your help. We need you along with local business leaders, chambers of commerces, major nonprofits, online community group leaders, networking groups, etc., to join us in making the difference and helping your community be seen, be heard, and be remembered. So, if you would like to know how you, your business, school, social media community, church, or your favorite nonprofit organization can be a part of this unique and powerful program, reach out to us today and introduce yourself and let us know how you would like to contribute and bring awareness to the amazing people, places, and events that are making the difference in the community you love. You can call us at 972-866-4596 or email us at info@thedifferenceradio.com.
And now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back after our little subsidy break there. Appreciate you guys still tuning in. Chance, that might be one of the best segues yet. Thank you for that. But no, welcome back. What we do in the last half of the segment, or the last part of the last segment of the show, look at me, it's been over an hour and I can't talk anymore. The last segment of the show, we typically do a rapid fire segment, right? So we're just going to go around the horn. I'm going to fire a few questions out there. You don't have to go deep on your explanation. They can be totally off the wall. They can be totally normal. It doesn't matter. That's the beauty of it. There is no wrong answer. This is fun. We just try to get a little bit of, a little bit more personality and understand what about Frisco you like and may not like. So with that being said, first question, and we're going to go around the horn, and we're going to start to my right on the screen anyway. Jacqueline, we're going to go with you first. What is
Okay.
your and this shouldn't be new to you, because these are questions that since you've been on the show before, they're not going to be all new to you. What is your favorite place in Frisco to eat dinner? Well,
it's always a hard one, and I have so many that I'm in love with. But I will say that, so Mia, we were talking about earlier, she's the one who turned me on. I love a good dumpling, like as in dim sum. And I will say the Dumpling House, which is kind of right over there off of Preston and in between like Gaylord and Warren, they're really, really good. So if you want some good dim sum in Frisco, I would say that that's good. And I also eat the pretty good dim sum at Kitchen Masters, which is a little bit more up Preston at almost Main in Preston. So they're both really good.
Awesome. Johanna, what you got?
Mia, by the way, side note, keeps spreadsheets of restaurants based on a genre of food, and it's amazing. Anytime you have a question, you're just like, "Hey, Mia, where should I go for X type of food?" And she'll be like, "Let me consult the spreadsheet." So,
wow, that's impressive.
That's not how my brain works, by the way. I have an art degree, and I do not work in spreadsheets at all. So my favorite is twofold. So for like a lunch is going to be La Finca Coffee Shop on Main. They make handmade, homemade Mexican food. It's amazing. And then I had another place and I totally lost it. But like Jacqueline said, it's really hard to nail down because that's a good one. Actually, not in Frisco, but our go-to date night is going to be Bavette Grill, just on the other side of 121. Yeah.
Well, love La Finca, love Lee Gonzalez, the owner over there. There is a second La Finca that's opened up on the other side of 380.
380.
Yep. So,
I don't think I've ever heard of that, y'all. So you guys are telling me something new, and I know almost everywhere to eat.
La Finca is great. Yeah,
La Finca is good. Coffee shop.
Located right on Main Street, Main and North County Road. In we manage that building, so I'm a little partial to it. But yeah,
isn't that where the double dip used to be? Which, by the way,
that's
that was
right.
a bad day when that died, but whatever. But I'll have to try that out. Okay, good to know.
Yeah, there's a long story behind that, which we've covered in some episodes in the past, but we can go real deep on that. But no, lovely and love that location. Good call out. Chance, what do you got for Frisco?
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going with my shout out for my Rockin' Tacos.
Yes, sir.
Over there on Main Street.
We're gonna stick with the Main Street folks. That's cool. I'm down with that.
Yeah, it's Taco Joint. That was the one I was trying to remember. They just opened up to the new First Watch there on Main Street across from HEB.
I did see that.
Yeah.
Kevin, what's your favorite?
Well, since we're talking tacos, I got to turn everybody on, if you haven't been, La Suprema Market on Main Street, right down by First Street. It is a grocery store. It's a little market, but they have a restaurant inside. And if you want straight Mexican fare mixed with Mediterranean fare, they have a real unique menu, and the food is amazing. And if you want to buy meat, they have a butcher shop and fresh bakery and other things. So it's a real place. It's called La Suprema Market. And if I want to get kind of fancy, then I'm a real fan of Jay Theodore as well.
Yeah.
So I like that little spot to take clients, and great little lunch spot, and I like their French onion soup.
Love that. Well, I'll stick in that same location over there. Coda Sushi, one of my kids' favorite places to go. Don't believe me, my 14-year-old loves sushi, which was a foreign subject to me as a 14-year-old, but she loves it over there, and we'll frequent that place pretty often. So. That's mine. All right, next question. So we know Frisco has a lot of stuff, right? It's grown immensely, but Frisco doesn't have everything. So what is the one thing that you want to see in Frisco that we don't currently have? And Jacqueline, I won't put you on the hot seat. We're going to go back around the other way. So Kevin, you're on the hot seat now. What does Frisco have?
Well, they open up all these. Brian, you might be able to identify with this. I mean, they've got Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'm gonna stay on the food. They've got Popeyes and that kind of stuff, but they just don't have like a mom and pop, cook to order fried chicken place, and I found one down in Plano called What's Clucking. And we'll go there after church. I wish, and the guy lives in Frisco. I'm like, dude, you gotta open up a place up here. But that's one of my guilty pleasures is that. So I would like to see a homemade fried chicken place, not Babes, not the traditional spots. But
So what you're saying is we need a Harold's Chicken Shack down here.
You know what I was talking about. Hey, those people used to own a Harold's, and they moved down here, and they had so much problem, they just rebranded and started their own. So it's good.
Okay. Well, there you go. There's your mom and pop chicken shop. I like it. That's a good call out. I love it. Ken, what you got?
You on me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I was going to say parking.
Parking. Okay.
A good
Wider
parking garage.
roads.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that is the big complaint downtown. I know that. Yeah.
Parking was needed.
Yep. No question.
Yeah, the only parking garage that I know of is the one that's by La Finca, and it's scary sometimes.
We try not to make it that way, but
Not in a safety concern, just the drivers.
well, I will say it's tight over there. Put it that way.
Traffic.
Yeah, we have that. We're not missing that for sure. All right, Johanna, what is Frisco missing that you want to see?
I don't know. I drive all over, and Frisco has so much good stuff that if there's anything missing, it's going to be like nitpicky things. Like I put it on my Facebook the other day. I was like, I need a Shipley's Donuts like closer to my house. I don't want to have to drive all the way to the Colony to go to this. I grew up in Houston, and so I miss them being on every corner. And it's way better than Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme is trash. I'll say it again. It's disgusting. I want like good donuts, and it's hard to find.
Lyndon, no more calls into Krispy Kreme. They're not.
I was about to say we will not be getting subsidized by Krispy.
No, Dunkin' also bad. So bad, yeah.
We're losing all our massive corporate sponsorship here.
Sorry, yeah, I'm gonna ruin it for you guys.
Joanna's just like trash, but she's like, yeah, they're all trash.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm still gonna hashtag them and let them know we talked about them.
Oh yeah, that's what you do.
As they say, even bad publicity is publicity. So
Yay.
yeah, that'll work. All right, Jacqueline, you've had plenty of time to think. What are we missing?
I know. If we're gonna talk food, I definitely love a place called El Paisa. There's one in, let's see, it's in Carrollton, just south of Louisville. They're actually building one really close to my parents' house, kind of on the edge of like Plano and the Colony. But they're just really, really good. They home make everything. And when I started going there literally like 20 years ago, I was like the only white chick in the joint, and that's what I wanted. Like I wanted not you know what I mean? I wanted it to be all the authentic people in there, and their food is just super good.
You can't. You have to speak Spanish. You can't. They don't take the orders in English. I mean, I think.
Oh, they always will call the numbers out in Spanish, and then if nobody comes up there, they're like, "Oh, it must have been a white person who ordered that. I guess I better say the
I mean, that's authentic.
number.
That's authentic food, man. I love that. And I worked in Dallas. They had one, and I'd go in there. I was like, I didn't know. I could barely order at that point.
Yeah, it's so good though. It's so good. They literally make everything fresh. Like they make the chips, they make all of it right there.
All right, cool. Well, my choice would be, and you can relate to this, Kevin, a Chicago deep dish pizza place. So
yes,
we're missing someplace that can actually do that well.
He's gonna open Illuminati's. He doesn't know it yet, but we're petitioning for Brian to just bring it and open it in Frisco, right?
So if anybody knows how to start those GoFundMe pages, I'll be I'll take that and I'll run with it, and I'll start up Illuminati's for all those who want it in the area. I'm ready to roll with that. That's my next business venture.
Have you ever been to Taste of Chicago?
I have not. No, I have not. I've heard decent things about it, but I have never.
Yeah, some people are mixed. I think it's pretty authentic. So right there off of Midway, down in Addison and Beltline, it's pretty doggone good.
Okay.
But,
all right. Well, it's not Frisco though. So
you can't talk about that. You can't talk about it. It's not Frisco. We're gonna get banned.
We need to get a Illuminati's here in Frisco. Jacqueline said it first. I'll second it. So
I'll third it.
All right. Very good. Well, hey guys, believe it or not, I mean, time flies when we're having fun. We are up against it. We are done. But before we go, what I want to make sure, just really quickly, literally 10 seconds, say who you are, what you do, and what the one place to get a hold of you. So Jacqueline, go first.
Sorry, Jacqueline Crider, PBJ Mortgage. You can absolutely reach us. There's all contact information on our website, which is pbjteam.com. So PBJ like the sandwich, TEAM.com.
Got it. Johanna, go.
I'm Johanna McDaniel. I'm the founder of Frisco Women. You can find us at friscowomen.com or just search Facebook. And we have an event this month on the 20th. Sorry, March 20th, and we would love to see you there.
Awesome. Chance.
Chance Post, Total Care. Bye.
Boom.
Kevin Westerfield, the Texas Legends, and the Frisco Diversity Leadership Council. We have games coming up. Chance, say it again, the 17th.
Yep, 17th, yes.
And our great event, so come out and see us.
All right, let's do it. Look forward to that event. Thanks again for everybody who chimed in today. Like, share us, post, love it all. I'm Brian Poduska, once again, your host, owner of Real Property Management Focus. Until next week, we'll see you then. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye all.
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Frisco is made possible by Brian Poduska, owner of Real Property Management Focus. Paul Fisher, loan officer with Certainty Home Lending. Steve Wood with Smart Safe Retirement. Kendra Kennedy with Stewart Title. Stephen Pine, partner with Patterson Insurance. Matt England, Director of Corporate Partnerships, and Andre Coles, Head Coach of the Frisco Fighters Arena Football Team. Debbie Watson with Team Watson Redeemers. Sonia Lowry with Gaston Investments and Development. Chance Post with Total Care. Jacqueline Crider with PBJ Mortgage. The Community Difference Frisco. Together, we can make the difference.